Friday, June 3rd. And these critters are doing really well, thriving, but always wanting to eat and filling their water up with wood shavings so that it soaks all the water up, and then we have to continuously change up the water. They're wanting to fly, and they're curious. You can see all their feathers coming in. See the tail feathers there, and their wings. So Tuesday of next week, they will be 3 weeks old. So we'll check the temperatures and see if it's safe for them to be outside. The problem is the nighttime temperatures, not necessarily the daytime temperatures. So that's what we gotta keep an eye on. I'm excited to get them out of my house.
Okay, so we got the next netting up. This is for the meat chickens, which are in the house. So that there in the middle is one of the cages we have set up on the other run. We have another one. Since the layer hens love that thing so much, I'm just going to set that up here. So when the meat chickens come in, they'll be in that cage all the time, not free ranging. And then yeah, so I can move them around, track them around this area, and once they eat up everything that they have here, we can move them somewhere else. But so it's only going to be another 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and they'll be ready to process.
Good morning from Tiny Foot Acres. Another beautiful morning.
Sun is just starting to shine. Had the generator on most of the day, pumping over water, and you can see the sun is there, so we're not getting much more. I mean, once that sun goes a little bit farther, it doesn't hit my solar panels anymore. So we are going to add to the solar finally. Everybody waiting for me to make my solar system bigger. Well, here we go. So I have these 3 panels, which that's where the mudroom's going to be, but maybe not this year. I don't know what's going on exactly with the priority of everything. There's just so much to do. Those panels will stay there, but I have 4. They're 5'6" long and 4'4" wide. You know, so 5.5 feet by 4.5 feet, basically. This is my messy utility shed. Coffee up there, don't spill. Okay, so I've been working at this morning. So I have 4 more batteries now to go along with the 2 that I had. So I have 6 batteries. These are, I believe they're less than 90 amps. But these are about 100 amp batteries. So I will have roughly 550 running amps in my battery bank. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to run these in parallel. Okay, so on parallel it's just like this, so it's negative to negative, positive to positive. So I run negative to negative all down on this side, and then positive to positive all on this side. And then I will, I have a charger here, but it's only a 15 amp charger. It's only a 15 amp charger. It's been recommended that I get a lot bigger charger, so I'm going to get a little higher amp charger and I'm going to hook it to the battery. So what happens is, on that charger, I will hook it into this plug. This plug, you see, runs outside to here, to the big black cable. And that black cable runs up to the generator. Okay? So this plug is for the generator. So what I'll do is I'll hook the charger up to here. So when the generator is running on a low solar day, it'll also be charging this battery bank. Because right now we're running off the generator, but our battery bank remains low or have nothing. So we need to have a charger that charges that system. If we're going to use the gas to run the generator, then it's going to charge my battery bank. And the battery bank, if I need to get more batteries, fine, but the battery bank should be able to run everything that you need for a 24-hour period. So basically it runs while it's getting the solar during the day, and then when the solar is gone, you should have enough that runs the rest of the night. Obviously we're not going to run all night long, but when it gets hot, we may want to turn on the AC mini split that we're going to be putting in. I'll show you that when we put that in. We may want to run it. We don't know how hot it gets here. We're from Midwestern Ontario. It gets pretty humid, but I think it gets humid here too. It's not like it's no humidity anymore. So that is what I'll do. So I'll hook up those battery cables and hook up that battery bank. And the next thing I'm going to do is, this is my charge controller. So this is a pretty cheap charge controller. It worked for the system on it at the time. I know it's upside down, but it's an eliminator. It's a 3,000 watt for a 12 volt system. And I have a charge controller and a inverter, 3,000 watt inverter for a 24 volting system. So that'll be I want to allow for a bigger system because we're going to have that mini split running off and on. We're going to have a freezer running, maybe even two. So we're on a fridge. We want to be able to run that all the time, like normal people. So it's a little tougher, you know, when you're just getting your hydro from the pole. You just pay and complain about the bill and the delivery charges and everything else, but we don't have to do that here. What we do complain about is when it's sunny most of the day, like it is right now, but because of the position of the panels, that doesn't get all the sun, or this inverter is not working right either. So I was only getting a very minimal amount of amps at the panels, and there's a few things that we have to change, but the big thing is to change this. This is the heart of this. Yeah, so I have a 3,000 watt. It's a brand new one. Brand new charge controller we were going to put on the schoolie, and we didn't do that, so now we're going to put it here. So we have a lot of wires going to the panels up front, and some of the wires are not the same gauge. So I think we're starting to get a little voltage irregularity with the different wires, and the wires will get hot. There's a reason why you got to go to a bigger gauge wires. You get the amps running through here. You want to be able to. It's like running water. You want to have a big hose and not a small hose. You want to get more volume of water from point A to point B, and that's what you're doing with your electrical, with the amps. So this is part of the issue here, and I'll get this figured out hopefully in the next few days. But the other. Take my coffee. As you see, the sun is hitting the panels pretty well right now. and it is well, 4:15 in the afternoon. But once that sun goes over here, then the overhang shadows the panels, and then also it just goes out of reach. These panels need to be able to flip, and you should be able to move them according to where the sun is. So this area here is where I'm going to put my 4 big panels. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, whether I'm going to do it like a pole and hang them like the hanging clotheslines and have them on like that, or if I'm going to put something on the ground and then just have them so you can move the whole base back and forth. So you'll want to move it so the phone is a panel. So right here is where the sun is, way back there first thing in the morning. So you want your panels to be here and tilted at the right angle. As that sun moves over, it gets the sun. Once it moves over here, then you move the whole panel this way. And it's angled at the right angle. So it catches the sun here the whole time. And once it gets out of reach there, then you move the panels over here. Now you're catching the solar again. So you're moving it 3 times, but you're getting the full. You're getting almost a little after the sun rises. You're getting sun almost immediately. And when the sun sets, it sunsets right over here. So obviously we're not going to get right until to the end, but we're going to get a lot closer. So we should be able to have a lot more solar run into 9-10 o'clock. If we're editing videos or we're doing anything like that, using an Instapot to make supper, anything that takes a little bit more power, we want to be able to make sure that we have enough solar. We've been scrimping and saving the winter, and now we're done with that.
So these guys are 3 weeks old today. You can see them getting their little feathers. And they're flying, they're perching, they're more curious, way more active. Super stinky. And we're ready for them to go outside. But it looks like they need to feather out a teeny bit more. So, possibly another few days, and we can get them outside. Good morning from Tiny Foot Acres. The sky is just amazing this morning. Beautiful sunrise. June 8th. Sky. Morning feeding.
As you can see, this is one of the reasons why I have to get this fence going, is that the chickens are getting out of the area. They're finding ways to get out. Now they're walking everywhere and I can't keep control of them. Bad girl. Yeah, go back that way. Come on. Come on. Go on with you. Come on. Hey, Friday, June 10th. Just doing some chicken catching. Those chickens are getting out of that netting area. They're getting too comfortable, so time to hook up some 3,000 watts to that sucker. I don't want to hurt them, but I just want them to know that not to get close to it and let the predators experience the wonderful joy of 3,000 watts. So anyways, what I'm doing here now is I'm at the other netting area that we're putting the meat chickens. Okay, so we have a cage just like we have at the other area, all put together, and then we have a topper that we picked up on the side of the road. So we're going to make this an area that they can go into. If it's too sunny, they go in. It's a shaded area as well. It's a safe area, away from the rain and away from predators if they happen to get in. I don't think they will. They would have to leap over that, and I mean, it's possible that foxes or whatever will, but if they don't hit it on the way in, they're going to have to hit it on the way out, unless they're that good. So this here is chicken wire. We've been told that it's not really for chickens. Reason being, people use it to keep predators out, and it's okay to keep chickens in, but the predators obviously can rip through this. Anything, weasels, raccoons, which we don't have much of. Lots of things can rip through that. So that's why we have the electric netting. That's our first line of defense right there. And then second, they're going to be in here, and this is going to be pegged down. So I got some old pegs that I have, and I just pegged this down a little bit. So if something does get in here, they can't lift that thing up. Obviously, if they want to dig, if they want the chickens that bad, I guess they're going to get them. But will you do your best to not make it easy? That's all. So this chicken wire will be bridging this gap that I'm going to have once I move this against the cage. So I'll be putting it from here all the way around to the other side. And as you see here, okay, I've already started drilling holes. So I'm going to drill holes every 4 to 6 inches, I guess. And then once I do that, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to put tie straps from underneath and tie strap this down. And I'm going to do that all the way down to the end on both sides. And then when we butt this up against it, this will go to the cage. It'll also run down here, and we'll just be able to hook it up with some ties as well. Unfortunately, when we move this thing, I'm going to have to clip the ties off here and redo it again. I will think of something that's not as wasteful and that we can just put on and off and on. I'm going to come up with something a little bit better to hook this on than tie straps. It's kind of wasteful, but we'll figure that out. Well, we'll get it set up so we can get them in here on Sunday anyways, so they're safe. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep on drilling everything all the way along, and then I'm going to strap it down, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, here we go. Broke my bit. Like I said, broke my bit. This still works.